Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back. And in the midst of all of that bad and sad news that is playing out all around the world, we have a story of absolute faith, beauty, admiration, hope, and high possibility. It is the story of the amazing academic and humanitarian, and that, of course, is Sister Professor Sindile Amina Ngubane. Assalamu alaikum to you, dear sister. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran for the honor of being here with you and your listeners.
Believe you me, the honor is mine and ours here at Salam Media, talking with you today because you're putting out hope, which is so sorely needed in this day and age. Professor, did you ever think that this would have been possible back in your MYM days? Did you ever think that this is where you are going to be come 2023 and, of course, the few preceding years, that this is where you're going to be? You're busy shaking up the spaces that you occupy. You currently serve as a full professor and acting head of department at the Institute for Open and Distance Learning in South Africa, and so much more.
I never thought that it will be as quick as it became, but I had the vision that one day, inshallah, it was going to happen. And as we always say, you have to fake it till you make it.
Absolutely. You're giving away your secrets here. Okay. When you started your work at the MYM, who were the people and the type of work that influenced you and almost put you on this trajectory where you find yourself today?
As we were growing up, we had people like Brother Naim Gina, who came in to actually give talks. We had Brother, now Dr. Tahir Setoto, Salman Letlatsa, a bit of Sister, if you remember, there was Sister Shamim Gina, who actually was Brother Naim's wife. May Allah grant her Jannah, who passed away just when I entered there. So we had a lot of people, both Sister Nafisa Zondi, who is a librarian now, I believe, in charge of the libraries somewhere in, I think, Pinetown. Yeah. So we had all these people that would come in and give talks and motivate in different ways of life. And then, of course, there was always about, the importance of going out there and servicing the communities. And I think for me, that was the most important thing, where you had to actually show your faith through action. And I loved that when we went out to be with the communities and assist in whatever way we can.
So, Professor, I know in those early days when you went out into the community, you loved the community work and showcasing Islam, alhamdulillah. But back then, maybe to a point today as well, Muslims were viewed very suspiciously. How did you deal with that phenomena at the time?
I think the basic thing is that wherever there is need, people will view you suspiciously, but they will always welcome any kind of kindness if it's brought in with respect and dignity. So whenever we went into, Prince Mshieni, into the hospitals to give food to the HIV suffer, those people that were infected with HIV, to feed them before they got their medication, to assist in whatever way we can. People didn't say no because we came in from a point of respect and not from like a high horse kind of approach. And they, I think, understood, because people would ask, why do you do this? And then we'll be able to highlight the importance of, like, as Muslims, we actually, you are blessed when you give than when you receive, but also highlighted the importance of always feeding someone and also giving water. That's why even at work right now, we always have water in our office. Anybody that needs water will come and get water. And I'm highlighting the water issue because you know that in Swane, there's an issue of sometimes the water is not safe. So you have to go and actually buy bottled water and keep it so that whoever needs to drink then doesn't have to drink from the tap. So I always highlight that to them that, as Muslims, we actually get a blessing out of giving water.
Absolutely. When you left school, you were in a very tight financial position. It was a toss-up between sending your brother to tertiary or yourself. But you managed to get around that, and you did manage then, financially to go and study. You then, when you'd completed your studies at that time, you then went to teach at a Muslim girls' school. But things changed and you moved on rapidly from there. Talk to us about that part of your journey, and very especially for a woman to be in that space, the space of IT, technology. It is very, very challenging. So, talk to us about the time that you were there and what made you shift your thinking and say to yourself, I'm bigger than where I'm at, and not in an arrogant manner, but I'm bigger and better, and I can do better if I'm out of this environment, and I can touch that many more lives if I change my focus. Professor, I think I've lost you. You don't have your mic on. Can you please switch on your mic? There seems to be a delay here in the broadcast. What's going on? No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. No, Professor, I still cannot hear you. Can you unmute, please? Can you unmute your mic? Can you please unmute your mic? Professor, if you can hear me, can I please ask you to unmute your mic? Okay, good people, this doesn't seem to be working out for us. Let's see if we can reconnect with her with 5 minutes to go to still get something out of this interview. What a dynamic woman. But it seems as if the forces are against us this morning. Let's try and reconnect with her. If we can't, once again, we're going to have to leave this for another time. So let's just try in the next minute to reconnect with Professor Sindile Amina Ngubane.
Hands. Salam Media.
لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل.
Humanity sets the agenda. Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media.
So when you want to develop yourself, you need to understand that you are actually developing you. That's what self-development is about. It's about you. So I'm saying to somebody, for example, if I need to develop me, I'm developing me for me first. I think there are so many factors that you can think about. The key factors are, what exactly would it be that would motivate you to want to actually develop yourself? And the key things I think people should realize is it should not be the power of this world. It should not be status. It should not be money oriented. It should not be fame. It should be just about you.
Professor Mehrin Mia.
Salam Media. Humanitarian journalism.
Shimmer, sparkle, captivate. Nothing less than a masterpiece. Droplets of gold inspires precious design. Platinum bursts with intricate freshness, and every pure diamond becomes more than just a girl's best friend. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, where timeless dreams become a reality. Come to us. We tailor-make designer gold, platinum, and diamond jewelry. Trade in or remodel your old gold. Clad yourself with classy name-branded watches. We offer insurance valuation and freezer card calculation. Visit us at 534 Ridge Road, Overport, or call 031 208 9142. Voda Gold Gem Jewelers, manufacturers of fine gold and diamond jewelry.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome back. We've managed to reconnect with Professor Sindile Amina Ngubane. I hope you can hear me clearly now, Professor.
Yes, I can hear you.
We do apologize. Okay, let's pick up from kind of where we left off. I think for me, what jumps out is that you did your honors in educational technology, and that's how you are where you are today. And you love pushing the issue of how technology is used to support students and elders. You've obviously did your master's at UKZN. And of course, you went on to do your PhD full-time, and it was about ICT in the support of blind students. Why was that? Why was that so very important for you? I think that's a very beautiful part of your story.
Shukran. I think the main thing for me was the fact that most people that have disabilities don't always make it through higher education and even the employment sector due to their disabilities. So I needed to find a way of how we could use the technological affordances to enable access for them and participation in both education and employment.
The story of that little girl in your village was really very inspirational and motivational for you. That story, that stuck in your mind, and you said to yourself, you have to do something for disabled people. Have you ever gone back to talk with her about how she inspired you to get you where you are today?
Yes, I actually spoke to her and I looked for her and said, you know what, Sisi, I remember you used to go to school. What were your dreams and how far have you gone? And she did mention to me the different challenges she faced in her path to try and get her master's degree. And alhamdulillah, through the interaction that we have now, she has since completed her master's and now she's working on her proposal for a PhD. So ultimately, I'm hoping that one day she will get to be a doctor in her field. She's in the social work as a field, and I'm hoping that one day she will also be a professor in social work.
Inshallah. You are here now in a very, very high position as a professor yourself at the Institute. Where to next for you, Professor Amina Ngubane?
What I'm trying now is to get more of our Muslim brothers and sisters to also attain their PhDs. And someone will wonder why. In terms of the National Development Plan 2030, South Africa is actually lacking in the, in their actually number of people that have PhDs. And I'm trying to ensure that mostly the people that are not counted, the people with disabilities, the vulnerable communities like women, displaced communities, and I will add Muslims because we are a smaller group in terms of, a population in South Africa, to try and actually contribute by getting more of those marginalized communities to also get into having their PhDs. Now, when you hold a PhD, it enables you to do research in different kinds of matters that could be faced by the community, and then you are able to develop interventions towards improving whatever situation that you could have identified. But also another issue is that I'm sure people that are at universities will tell you that there's a serious issue in terms of the Islamic studies departments. The older professors like Professor Dengo, Professor Mohsin, I've actually got to retirement age. Now you ask yourself, who's going to take over and produce the necessary knowledge that is needed in the Islamic studies departments? So I've been approaching different brothers that have been in the Darul Ulums doing Islamic studies full time to say, how do we then go into SAQA and get their qualifications, accredited so that they can go into postgraduate studies and eventually get to hold their PhDs also, so that they can come into higher education and produce the knowledge that they already have, by the way. The only thing they just need to have qualifications. And alhamdulillah, I must say, some of them have taken the challenge. There's one who's about to complete his PhD. I don't want to mention his name. I don't want to spoil the surprise, but I'm hoping, inshallah, that he will motivate others to also do the same, so that the issue of producing Islamic knowledge does not die within the South African universities. And I'm hoping that sisters also, inshallah, will also do the same, so that we sort of debunk the notion that Islamic studies is only taught by men. We cannot allow that. So I'm hoping that sisters that are in Islamic studies, that have gone to Sudan and all other outside universities to get Islamic knowledge, whether it's Sharia or Islamic knowledge, they actually get excited about getting their PhDs so that they can also become part of academia. South Africa as a country actually has very enabling policies and constitution, but it's upon us as the citizen to actually fill in the spaces that employment equity keeps on looking for Black people, keeps on looking for Indian people, keeps on looking for colored people to come in and teach those particular subjects, and they are not there. So I'm hoping really that through this particular broadcast, people make that particular commitment to say they are going to make sure that the Islamic studies does not die in all our universities by actually getting their PhDs and becoming academics, inshallah.
Subhanallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all of your efforts. Let's just go down to grassroots level and understand the spread of Islam in the African communities, Black African communities. Are you active in that area at all doing dawah, or are you trying to get young people to get involved and do more dawah? Because we do need to start at grassroots levels, don't we?
I do get involved wherever I can, but I've noticed also that the community that we have now, sometimes they might not need you to talk a lot. They want you to walk the talk. So the way that we carry ourselves, so I carry myself, I try to ensure that it actually propagates Islam in a way that someone should actually know that, okay, this person is trying to say this. I'll give you an example. We just got back from Zimbabwe, and I was facilitating a conference there. And as we were doing the work, someone asked someone else that, you know what, that one is always so happy. Is she drunk? And that person, and the colleague that knew me said, you know what, she doesn't drink at all. She's just a cheerful person naturally. And the other person comes then to me later and says, you know what, I actually thought you were drunk, but I've been made aware that you've never drunk in your life and your religion also doesn't allow you to drink. I really appreciate the fact that you are always welcoming. Now, this goes back to the main thing that our Prophet ﷺ said, that you give charity by always being kind and by always smiling. You
Absolutely.
see, so I got a chance to actually tell the person that, no, though I do it as a person, but also my religion encourages me to be always kind to people and, and to be cheerful, because, I mean, even just being alive is a gift, from our Creator. And all of
Subhanallah.
a sudden, the conversation was so nice, you know.
Okay, Professor, I know that you seem to be in an underground garage or something to that sort. I won't delay you any longer, but just one final question. What is your next step in terms of your own personal development?
Inshallah, I'm hoping that I'll manage one day to get into United Nations, because I know that there's very few South Africans that are there working, but also as Muslims. I know there's one sister from Botswana who's there working, who's a Muslim. I always smile at her when she's wearing her hijab and she's working there. But also, it's not just about me. It's to ensure that we actually set up legacies that will challenge other people to want to actually reach those heights. But lastly, I would also say that to sisters, if they can really take all forms of education, formal and informal, and actually grab the opportunity, as we are encouraged to learn from the cradle to the grave. The worst that can happen to a woman is when, either through disability or divorce or death, she loses the people that look after her, and then all of a sudden she's found desperate. So we need to always strive to learn a skill. If it means you are making candles, do so and sell them. If it means you are making perfume, do so. If it means you are cooking food, do so. If it means you are taking the path that I took of getting education, do so that you are not found wanting and desperate enough, which sometimes can, weaken your Islam, because you are trying to find ways of survival. So I'm really requesting everyone. It is our Islamic mandate. Always seek knowledge, so that you use that knowledge to live a sustainable life.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. Shukran very much for talking with us. What an amazing personality and what a role model. Allah accept from you, inshallah. Grant you good health and long life to continue touching lives and inspiring other young hopefuls. Till the next time, as always, keep safe. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Shukran jazilan, and may Allah accept from you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ameen thumma ameen. That was the amazing Professor Sindile Amina Ngubane, a story of faith, hope, empowerment, and what else can I say? If you don't dream big, you'll never achieve it. So be a dreamer. And on that note, then we wrap up. Thank you indeed to Nasrin Naidu, our content producer, and of course to Abdul Salam, the technical producer for the show this morning. Take care on the roads, guys. Till I meet up with you again tomorrow morning. As always, Khuda Hafiz from me, Julie Ali.